Well, out of the hot issue of immigration now, Congress going down to the wire. You know, there's 1 week is left to try and get a deal to handle our immigration crisis. Well, now there's word that President Obama is preparing an executive order that they say could give legal status to 5 million illegal immigrants. Could that force Republicans to do something before they head home for the summer recess? And what happens if the president does give so many that new status? Jamie Weinstein is the senior editor at The Daily Caller. You know, Jamie, let's first start with this influx in the southern border. I mean, man, oh man, it shows no signs of stopping. The numbers are expected to triple. Bottom line, the flood's continuing. What are they doing in Washington to try to stop it?
Absolutely. The crisis remains, and there's only a few days left in Washington to take care of it before the August recess, which is scheduled to start this Thursday. So right now you have three different factions in a way. You have President Obama asking for $3.7 billion to provide more money to take care of these influx of undocumented children. You have the Senate Democrats who say, well, you only need $2.7 billion. And then you have House Republicans who say, we think around $1 billion is enough. And what's more, what's really crucial here is that you pass an amendment to the 2008 human trafficking law that will allow the president to send these undocumented children back to their home country quicker. So that's, I think, the real sticking point, because Senate Democrats find that as a non-starter, and President Obama, who initially agreed with with House Republicans that was an important part, is now saying he doesn't want that part of a bill. So that's where the real crux of the problem seems to be.
Well, you know, the Democrats, some others, you know, they're pointing to that part of the bill. It was supposed to try and stop the traffickers and protect the young people, but instead the critics say it's done the opposite. It sent out this message that, you know, you can come and we're giving you protection. And you have this heartbreaking, you know, tremendous situation on our southern border. You know, how does it stop? And what happens if nothing is done by Thursday?
Well, it's truly tragic. There's no question you have all these young children at the border. But this is, I think, the real crux of the problem is. I think something could happen if the president showed leadership here. You could see a compromise come about where the Republicans will maybe go up in the amount of money that they're willing to allocate closer to where the Senate Democrats and President Obama are, if President Obama goes back to what he said in the beginning, that this amendment to the 2008 human trafficking law needs to be amended to allow them to send them back. If he goes and prevails on the Senate Democrats to allow this to be part of the bill, you see the framework of a compromise. But truly, I just don't see that happening because I don't see President Obama exerting the type of leadership that's necessary to get that type of bill through Congress by Thursday.
And meanwhile, Jamie, we hear they're tinkering with something else, that the president may issue another executive order, this time giving legal status to upwards of 5 million illegal immigrants. These are people apparently who are parents of U.S. citizens, because if you're illegal and you come here and you have a baby, you become a legal American citizen. I mean, man, oh man, that could potentially be explosive. They were doing it, they would say, for humanitarian reasons, but what would that do with Congress out in session if the president issues that type of order?
Well, you have this now hanging over the whole situation. You already have House Republicans who don't trust the president on the border and are reluctant to go along with any bill because they don't think he's going to use the money properly. But now hanging over their head is his threat to actually issue another executive order to legalize 5 million of the estimated 11 million illegal immigrants in the country. So this is a poison pill in many respects, and it goes to what John Boehner is trying to do right now with this lawsuit from House Republicans against the president for exceeding his authority with these executive orders.
All right, well, that's coming down the pike. Meanwhile, we'll see what happens in the next 5 days. Then they go home.
Absolutely.
And then we all yell at them or something. Jamie.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much. Jamie Weinstein of The Daily Caller.
Thank you.
Oh, okay, Eric. And